Hi everyone. I'm here to show you a level that I'm working on. It's a playground level, and the purpose of the level is to, you can say, test the third-person character in Unreal, and really put the character under a big amount of stress and see how he handles that. To do that, I have created this test course, you can say, where I'm testing the character in like how does he handle slopes, jumps, moving objects, and so on. But let's just get into it. Let's play here. Go in. The first thing you see here is a slope test, and you can see I put the angles on these slopes in, and the character he handles all these slopes fairly nicely. He has a barrier right now which is just below 45 degrees where he can walk on that surface. So you can see I cannot walk over here, but if I jump in, you can see he slides down. The purpose of this level is of course to sort of like define some basic rules for when we start level designing arenas for Project Knoxville. And one of the things when you do level design that's really important is that it's easy for the players to be able to read what is going on in a level. So my guess is that we're probably gonna have like maybe set a goal that we're not gonna have slopes that is more than 30 degrees, and then we will avoid slopes that is between 35 to say 45, and then it's more easy to read that, well, of course I can walk up like this angled surface here, just so it's easy to read. But anyways, this is a place where I can go in and test how the player handles slopes. Another thing that's interesting is that the way this character from Unreal handles like sliding down is he goes into a jump animation and then he slides, so it doesn't really look like he's sliding. And I imagine for Project Knoxville that if we have slopes where you can slide down, that we want the player to have actually contact with the surface that he's sliding on. And of course, particles and dust and stuff like that coming next to his feet. Alright, but if I move on here, here you can see I've created like a really bad situation where the character is in this two angle slopes, and as you can see, he doesn't really handle that nicely. And I think this is it's a perfect test case, and it's a good example of something we most likely would like to avoid in the level design. Here I have another interesting case. These small steps are actually sloped 45 degrees so the player can handle them, and I can walk across these things, and if I jump into them, my character gets stuck, so I can only walk like sideways. This is of course also something we will have to either tweak the character so he will handle, or we will find another solution. And as you can see here I can easily walk across these boxes, so no problem here. Here I built something that is a little bit more complicated, it's just an example. I think the character actually handles this pretty well. I think that is basically reasonable what I see here. But again, this is just like test cases, and when we start actually doing more development on the character, getting AK systems on him, so he will actually, his feet will follow the ground and position itself rightly. We have more advanced animations, then this is a good example of a place where we could go and test that. Alright, that was slopes for the character. Now we come to a section where I am experimenting with the jump distances for the character. And in front of me you can actually see I've created these pickups, and just in the left corner you can see I have made a small dummy hut with there's health and stamina for sprinting, and there's like a gold collector, and it's just something I did because it makes it a little bit more entertaining for myself when I'm running around in this test course, that I can actually go and collect pickups. But anyways, here I am testing jump distances, and now I'm just running with a normal speed, and as you can see I can easily get across 2 meters, I can get across 3 meters. 4 meters is right now the limit for where I can get across if I'm just running normally, but if I'm sprinting, which I'm doing now, I can easily get across. I can also get across 5 meters. I jumped too late. Let's try that again. Oh, there we go. Yeah, as you can see, the character can easily jump across. Not easily, apparently, but he can jump across 5 meters. 6 meters is right now the current limit for how far you can jump while sprinting. Of course, this is something that is very closely tied with how fast the player is moving. So the faster you can run and sprint, the further you can jump. Yeah, again, this is just a test case. No decision has been made on how far you can jump or how fast you can run or sprint. The next test I have here is to test jump height, and I have around me here. You can see I have like increasingly taller boxes, and the first one here is half meter high, and the character can simply just walk across these things. I don't have to do anything. He just walk up half a meter. That is the limit. If it's taller than 1 meter, if it's taller than a half meter, he can't walk up. And next to it, I have 1 meter here, and I can't get up, but I can jump up here easily. 1.5 meter, again, I can jump up on that. Here I have 2 meters, and 2 meters is actually right now a dead zone. We have a very simple hang from ledge animation where the character can grab a ledge and he can then jump up like that. But there is a dead zone here where it doesn't really work. It's around 2 meters. Of course, we need to fix that and make the character so he can actually climb up here. But 2.5 meters, he can grab the edge. The animation didn't play there, but I still grabbed the edge and jumped up. 3 meters, still works. Don't know why the animation isn't playing right now, but that played okay. 3.5 meters is the limit right now. I can't jump up to something that's 3.5 meters. And of course, the rest of here would be impossible for me to get up myself. Here I have a case where I'm testing hanging from edges that are angled. The first one is a normal one, and as you can see, it works fine. Here I have one that is tilted slightly outwards, and I can actually grab the edge here, but the character is not moved in. I think he's colliding with the surface of the box and then pushed outwards, so it's impossible for me to get up here. Again, showcasing a problem that we need to find a solution for. Here I have a box that is tilted inwards, and again, the character here, he can't really see it. So again, it's just a test case, and again, hang from ledge is a very crude implementation right now, and it's something that we need to do better. This angle here is not tilted either outwards or inwards, but the character can easily grab it. Of course, again, here you would probably have to do something smart with the animation, so his arms were aligning and grabbing the edge in a nice way. And most likely I think in the level design we would probably avoid having edges that are so much angled as here. Yeah, the character can not easily, but he can get up on these angled surfaces here. All right. Then over here I have a test where I'm testing movable ground, and you can see I have these things turning around, and there clearly is some problems with collision on them, as you just saw. But they sort of work. As you can see, now I'm not touching the controls, and as you can see, the camera is actually spinning around like I would imagine that we want the camera to spin around, but the character is also spinning. That looks kind of strange. The character should be standing still on the platform, not turning around. So again, something we would have to look into. Over here I have something that is really evil towards the character, and Yeah, I mean, I can actually here. I can actually sort of force the character in through those colliders, and I guess this is not really something we would ever do in a multiplayer online game. But again, it's just really putting the third-person character under a lot of stress. Yeah, and it's probably too extreme for what we would ever do in a real game. Here I have done some. I've made some floating platforms. You can see they're sort of hovering, and the character actually interacts fairly nicely with them. Hang from that works awful with these hovering platforms. Here I have, you can say, spinning boxes, turning boxes that are stationary, not like moving around and we're just spinning. And the character, I think, he handles those fairly nicely. It's also kind of like a funny way to make a conveyor belt, I think. Yeah. So that was some of the areas where we could test movable grounds. Then we'll move on to a camera test. Here I've tried to simulate some indoor environment. How does the camera handle it to be in here? And as you can see, the camera is like colliding with surfaces, moving closer towards the character. This is not really a nice view, so I would imagine that we would have to come up with a solution here for how to handle the camera. Either say we would make the character transparent, so you could actually look through him, or do something else. But again, clearly it's something we need to have a solution for. If you here I have the blue things are not blocking the camera. So if you look at the pillar on my left, you can see that the camera, when I turn the camera around here, it jumps in front of that object. That's because it's colliding with it. But I have made it so that the blue boxes here, or the blue overhanging bar here, is not colliding with the camera. So yeah, so the camera is not jumping in and out. I think it gives a pretty nice effect. Yeah, and then I'm sort of like playing with how big can these bars be before you would actually put a collider on them, and I think totally blocking out the character is probably a situation where we would have the camera jump in, just like with these pillars here. The last thing I will show you is a wind tunnel I did that is like playing with putting forces on the player character, and I'm getting into this wind tunnel now. And you can see if I stand still, I moved backwards, and you should imagine that it was wind or something like that. And I have just made these boxes move along, so just to sort of give you an idea that there really is heavy wind blowing here. And I'm trying to move up against the wind here, and yeah, there's some pickups down there, and I'll just jump through here and collect one. Alright, so that was the playground level. This is most likely going to be the level where we are going to experiment with tweaking and building the basic player character. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed seeing it. Bye.